Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here, and this is the best No Minion Mage deck in Hearthstone. No Minion Mage is a mage deck that only includes spell cards, because of the synergies between those spell cards like Incanter's Flow, reduce the cost of spells in your deck by 1, and Font of Power, discover a mage minion, but if your deck has no minions, keep all 3, and the refreshing Spring Water, which was already nerfed once. It now costs 5 mana instead of 4, draw 2 cards, refresh 2 mana crystals for each spell drawn, so in a deck like this it will always refund you with 4 mana. Some cheap spells, a bunch of minions, some mana refunds when you draw cards, that's all fine and good, but how does the deck win games? The current win condition of No Minion Mage is direct damage. You have Ruined Orb, Fireball, Apex's Blast and Mask of Cthulhu in your deck, and you're trying to get as much of this damage to go face as possible. Sure, sometimes you're able to connect face with minions from Font of Power, and sometimes you're able to connect face with minions that you get from Apex's Blast, but your main win condition is just direct burn damage. So try to avoid using this burn damage on enemy minions, and try to clear up the board as much as possible before dropping Mask of Cthulhu so that as much of that damage as possible can go face. Obviously there are matchups and situations where you need to compromise, like you're up against an aggro deck and they're trying to hit you in the face a lot and you have a Ruined Orb in your hand. Yeah, sure, you use that Ruined Orb to kill their minion so that it doesn't hit you anymore, but the main purpose of all of these damage spells is to go face. The main thing that makes No Minion Mage an attractive choice in the current meta is its Priest matchup. This is one of the premium decks to beat Priest with. The deck is also good against some of the other slower decks like Warlock decks, and its main weaknesses are fairly aggressive decks like Face Hunters, Aggro Shamans, Elemental Shamans and Token Druids. But none of those matchups are completely impossible, even the worst ones are like 40-60. So they can be tough, but they're not impossible. In particular, this list includes 2 copies of Shooting Star, and Shooting Star is one of your main cards to contest those really aggressive decks with. You also have Combustion that can clear some of those early threats that they put out, and then you have Ring Toss. And when you corrupt your Ring Toss, you have a really good chance to find stuff like Ice Barrier, to find defensive secrets that can then help you win the game. The main No Minion Mage variants run either Deck of Lunacy or Cthulhu the Shattered has an alternative win condition, just direct burn, and typically you cut 1 copy of Shooting Star to put either of these into your deck. However, the downside of running either Deck of Lunacy or Gryphon the Shattered is that typically you're improving your already good matchups, like your matchup against Priest, and making your bad matchups even worse, especially your matchups against Aggro Shaman and Face Hunter. Running Cthulhu in your deck instead of a Shooting Star can drop that matchup from being like 40-60 to around 30-70. And typically that's not a sacrifice that you're willing to make, but in very specific metagames where the games are a little bit slower, these could be valid alternatives. As for the Mulligans with this deck, you're always looking for Incanter's Flow and Font of Power. These are strong in every matchup. When you're up against aggressive decks, you also want to look for your Shooting Star and for your Combustion, so that you could clear out some of those early aggressive minions, before they deal too much damage. Those are the most important things there are to know about No Minion Mage, so happy hunting! Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.